Hi guys, back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome to the FAI Cup review show. We're going to start off at Oriel Park, where Dundalk had a comfortable enough win, to be fair, against St. Mochtas Keane. They won this by 5-1. Amir scoring his first goal, Han, Pat Hooman hat-trick. McCaffrey gave them a bit of a fright by equalising, and it was 1-1 in fairness for a while, wasn't it, Keane?
Yeah, it was 1-1 at half time, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Was it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I was at the game down in Cork, and I was looking at the scores and we found, and you know, you're looking at Mochtas scored 3 minutes after they scored, and you know, you're saying it's only a matter of time before Dundalk get a couple, but you know, going into half time level was tough, you know, so it'd be they gave them a bit of a fright, but in fairness, I watched the second half. I didn't see the first half. I watched the second half. They came out all guns blazing, and definitely a professional performance, and fully deserved to win the end.
Yeah, do you think they got a bit of a kick in the half time though?
No, Vinny, yeah. No, Vinny, yeah, he would. And so would you if you were the manager. Yeah. So, you know, you can understand that completely. And I'd be more happy if I was Vinny now with the second half, the reaction they showed. Now, Vinny will probably argue and say they should have been ahead. That shouldn't have happened at half time. But look, they can only make up for it. And in fairness, the second half, they came out and they were a different team altogether.
Yeah, that's like, it's a big competition for Dundalk, in fairness, because this is their route into Europe, essentially. So this is their season, this FAI Cup, isn't it? They're into the quarters anyway.
No, I think for all the teams involved in League of Ireland now, Dundalk has to win this if they want to get into Europe, because I certainly can't see any way for Dundalk to get in. And obviously, Bows would be looking to win it too after won a cup in 10 years or more now. So they'll be very much in their tails now to win the cup. But Dundalk have to win this. With where they are in the league, they simply won't catch up. And if they don't get Europe next year, it'll be a disaster for them in every single sense. Just not getting away from it. Every single thing Keane said there, I fully agree with. They showed good character and professionalism coming back. And at the end of the day, it's the end result that matters. No matter how you get it in the cup competition, it's knockout. Doesn't matter how you get it, it's the result that really matters. And they got the result in the end. But you have to give credit to Mochtas too, going up against a team like Dundalk and really putting it up to them and showing what they're about. You have to give some credit to them. I know they got, turned over in the end, but the first half was brilliant by them. You have to give credit to them too, that's true. But look, Dundalk's seen it through the tie, and they got through to the next round. So professionalism for them and quality showing through the team.
Absolutely. Finishing UCD 2, Longford 1, Keane at the Belfield Bowl. All the goals came in the last 20 minutes, including a superb winner actually from Colin Whelan, wasn't it? From outside the box.
Yeah, I only seen the last half an hour of this because I seen all the goals came at the end.
That worked well.
I wasn't putting myself through that, to be honest with you. So I watched the last half an hour. From what I say, it's definitely an opportunity missed from Longford. I think they'd be disappointed by how they conceded the first goal as well, that piece. And you could actually, if you were look at the video, you could see Dara Doyle absolutely fuming in the video after they conceded. So would you be, they're not getting beaten on tactics, they're not getting beaten on this, they're getting beaten by little individual errors like that, stuff that a manager can't control. And I think that's the most frustrating thing for Dara and the background staff there and the players themselves. But that's I predicted UCD would win this, so I wasn't as much of a shock. But look, Longford now have nothing really to play for, and that they just need to try and nick a win next week against Pats and just even nick something, bring something back, and then get yourselves into a little thing now where they're playing away. Can they get something off Pats? If they can, they bring it back in the following week. They're at home where they look to build on it. So, that's the next thing for Longford. They want to get on that pitch now and start to play Pats because they need to start picking up points as soon as possible now. The cup is gone. As for UCD, what a finish, like you said, cracker. He's really put himself in the shop window, especially in the cup like that, especially with a goal like that when you put it out there. I know for a fact I'd definitely take a punt on him, along with probably 9 or 10 teams in the league. So, yeah, I'd take a punt on him next season if the deal was there to be done. But look, UCD, they're going to be tough whoever they get in the next round now, and I wouldn't fancy my chances playing UCD away or at home.
Actually, Daz, I was going to bring that question to you. Like, they're going to be a tough proposition in the draw. Like, you know, if your Bows or Pats or Dundalk, you're not taking them for granted, are you?
UCD are renowned for playing good football, and they're always competitive, and they always seem to be able to get very good young players signed up for a scholarship program every single season, and they always have players move on to, you know, different clubs every single season. And Whelan, like Keno said there himself, he's someone I definitely have the balls. I think, you know, he's young, he's fast, he knows the back of the net, he can play up, you know, in the front three positions. Any team would probably take a punt on him and see what he's about. I definitely have my balls anyway. And, you know, UCD, I probably would have predicted them to beat Longford as well. Unfortunately, you know, Longford just haven't been really doing anything really this season. And unfortunately for them, it looks like they're down and out. It's bad times for them at the minute on the pitch wise. But hopefully next season they'll be competitive in Division 1. It looks like they're gone down. And, you know, we said recent weeks on the show too, like what Keno said there too, it's been, you know, individual errors, stuff the manager can't really control, messing around with the backs, individual errors leading the goals. And, you know, it's a terrible way to be in a team. It's something you can't really fix, you know, if these keep happening. And it's the way it's been in the league. It's the way, you know, it's the way it's been in the cup against UCD. But look, full credit to UCD for getting through. It's brilliant for them, and I'm delighted they got through for them.
Yeah, I think it's just a serious lack of confidence for Longford at this stage as well, to be fair. And it's very hard for a manager to change confidence, like, because those things take time to take results, as Keane was saying there a second ago as well. But we'll move on to Waterford, who beat Kilnamana 4-1. Martin with 2 goals, Evans, Patterson, Buckley with late goal for Kilnamana. And this was made more difficult, Keane, the fact that McCabe and Clark were actually out for Kilnamana. They really couldn't afford to miss players like that. They did have the likes of Conor Kenna, but even so.
Yeah, it's a shame. It really is a shame. I was disappointed. Now, look, we don't know whether they were injured or whether it was work commitments, because, you know, these lads would be getting paid. You know, they'd probably take off a Friday off work and get out to Waterford. So, you know, you can understand that situation as well. I know for a fact if my Leinster senior team that I'm with was playing down the country, we'd probably go down with half a team. And that's the reality. I probably wouldn't even be there. Because I'm on work, you know, we're out working people. So
naturally you'd have to tug out, Keane.
Unless Pats were playing, and then you pull a sickie, you know. No, you know, it's tough for teams like that. I don't know what the situation is. I don't know whether it was work or injuries. I'm not sure. But 2 top quality players missing. They were up against it. They gave a great account of themselves again. You know, and look, we still have a team there. Minuta we can speak about that are still flying the flag for the Leinster Senior, which is great. But you know, I think every team every non-league side in the competition this year, even the ones that went out the first round, I thought they gave a great account of themselves. And you know, I think it'd be great to see the First Division up and the Premier Division up to a number of teams, 12 teams in each division, and a couple of these sides in the likes of Minute that we're going to speak about, the likes of Moctus. Now, teams like that, you'd love to see them coming up and putting her up in the First Division. But look, finances, everything like I said, work commitments, money, everything like that comes into it. But you know, I think that's more of a dream, in my opinion, than something that can actually happen. But you know, they gave a great account of themselves. I don't think the levels are as bad as people think, you know, or I don't think the League of Ireland, especially the First Division, I don't think the standard is much higher than. It's definitely a little step up in class, but I don't think it's that much than people are making out to be.
Yeah, Daz, I mean, Waterford, they could fancy their chances in this cup, especially if they get a decent draw in the next round. Like, if you look at the form, they're probably as good as anyone on form, to be honest with you, at the moment.
Well, I think, you know, any club that's reached the quarterfinals, you have to back yourself to believe you're going to go all the way, no matter who you play. You know, you've bet everyone so far to get this far in the competition. There's no way you're going to go down now without a fight after getting this far. No matter who you've played, there's no easy ties in the cup. Anything can happen. Players can be missing. Managers have decisions to make. Rotations happen. If you're in Europe or whatever have you, players are going to be left out. And, you know, ultimately, the teams that got this far now will want to go all the way, and they'll believe in that they can win it, no matter who they play against. You know, like Bo's bet Rovers, which we'll get on to like as well. And a lot of people who aren't Bo's fans. A lot of people who aren't Bo's fans.
It only took 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they would have backed Rovers to be Bo's, like, you know, but you have to back yourself going the whole way. And, you know, it's brilliant that we have a non-league side left in the competition. Like, I always love to see non-league sides do well. And And like Keno said, like it'd be my dream too to have 12, 13, 14 teams in each division.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if it was, for talk's sake, a Carlow IT going into Division 1, I'd love to see it. It'd be brilliant. Another platform for young players to, put themselves out there and get a move to another team if it has to be that way. But, it's brilliant that they got this far. And, playing against Waterford, it was always going to be hard, and, like what Keno said, players being missing, work commitments, all that kind of stuff comes into it. It's late in the competition. And look, it was great for them to get that far, and fair play for them getting that far. And Waterford did the business. They scored 4 goals, 4-1, straightforward win for them, and they got through to the next round, which is what they wanted to do.
Another thing actually I'll throw in there, it's great to see actually a decent crowd of Kilnamana fans down in Waterford as well. I was told by someone at Waterford that, some League of Ireland teams actually have less fans there. So that was fantastic, wasn't it, Keane, as well, to be fair?
Yeah, great to see the fans coming down, supporting them. Look, it's a big day out, And I always, I'm a fan of saying, for some reason, for about 5 years in a row, we used to draw a blue bell in every competition going. We used to play them at least once a year, if not twice. And it'd be great to see, the locals coming out supporting Bluebell and giving them a good support. So it's really good. It's really good to see Kilnamana fans down there, supporters and families, wherever they may be involved with the club, because it's a big occasion. Get second round of an FAI Cup is an awful long way to go. For a non-league side, and I'm absolutely delighted for them. They gave a great account of themselves, and that game done them no harm.
100%. Good advertisement, definitely, for the Leinster Senior League, which is starting soon enough as well. It has started, has it, Keane, actually, just about, maybe?
Yeah, it has started about a month.
Yeah, it has started.
6 weeks.
Oh, it's a month. I'll cut that bit out. So finished Finn Harps 1, Derry City 0. Tunde with the winner after 75 minutes, Keane. A fantastic win for Harps. Both teams came into this on form. Bragging rights, again, a side that I don't think you're going to fancy a trip to Harps, I tell you, in the next round. But the penalty, though, a little bit soft, maybe?
Yeah, I felt so. And anyway, but you're looking at the game, and I just thought Finn Harps had a bit more balls than Derry in this coming into the game. And I know Derry have been fantastic and doing really well, but I really did, and I think I said it, I fancied Harps to win this game. I said there'll be nothing between the two sides, so it'll be a set piece or a bit of magic, and that's what worked out. A set piece and a penalty. Now he absolutely buried the penalty, top corner. To be honest, I thought he slipped a little bit, because if you actually watch the video back, you'll see.
Lucky it didn't go over the bar. Yeah,
you'll see the penalty spot was fairly cut up, because he kicked the ball, and I don't even know what it was, just dust or sand or whatever, just flew off the ground, and he put it in the top corner, and no keeper saving them. I thought it was soft, especially in a game that's 0-0. Look, probably can't blame the refs. They probably want to get out of there and don't want to be an extra time up there. It's a long way home, but no, I thought it was soft. I wouldn't have given it myself. Now, I thought Derry can definitely feel a bit hard done by in that situation. They didn't do enough to win the game. I don't think. Harps huffed and puffed a little bit. I thought Derry dealt with Tunde really well up front. Really limited them to a lot of chances. I still have nightmares of him running around Paddy Barrett and all that. Really, I doubt from last week. Just the fella is light, and Sam Bound trying to catch him off. But no, I thought Derry really handled that situation well, and handled the game and kind of managed the game a little bit better than Finn Harps did, but without really having too many clear-cut chances. Extra time penalties was probably a fair result in the game. And look, when it goes to penalties, there's a lottery, but I'd be disappointed if I was Derry, especially with the decision. I thought it was very hard done by.
Yeah, that's ironically, though, to be fair to Finn Harps, they were on an awful run, and there were some matches where they got a few decisions against them, which were harsh, let's be honest, as well. And it's funny, now that they're in a good run, the decision goes for them. Funny that, isn't it?
It tends to happen to, up and down the country, different clubs all the time, but I have to say I disagree with Keno on this one. There's contact, he went down, he got the penalty, and he put it back to the net, and that's the way it is. And Harps will be taken now with both arms going. And
you think it was a penalty, is it?
I think it was. I think it was. It's contact, you go down, it's a penalty. what do you do? Like, you know, if you make
It was a little bit clumsy at first. He gave the referee a decision. He's kind of swiped at the ball. Now I tell you that was. I know it was contact and he went down, but he went down like a ton of bricks. Like
there was contact and he went down, so there was a penalty. I think it was the right decision.
I can see what he means, though. I suppose if I'm in that situation, I probably have to exaggerate it in case I don't get the foul. You know, that kind of way. But yeah, you can look. It's not the worst decision in the world, but it's definitely a debatable decision. Let's say
it's definitely a debatable decision, 100%. But I think he was right to go down because there was contact on him, like, and he went down and he got the penalty. And like Keno said, he could have easily missed that with the way the ground was and stuff. We've often seen players guide them, like, you know, but. You know, top bins, keeper isn't going to save that. Every day of the week, keeper isn't going to save that. And he put it away. And, you know, Harps go through to the next round. And I think Derry just didn't do enough. They just weren't in the game enough. And they didn't really attack Harps as much as we know they're capable of doing. And what they've shown in the league, they just didn't produce in the night. And Harps, I just think, wanted it more. And when they got the goal, I thought they defended well. They held on to the lead. And you know, they got through to the next round and they'll be delighted with that, you know, especially after a very hard, long season in the league for them of not having results. And to get a really good cup win now in the quarterfinals will be very refreshing for them. And it might even propel them with confidence now going into the next league games, you know, getting it back, you know, getting a win in the league, in the cup, and keeping a clean sheet and, you know, Tunney up front getting the goal. Like, you know, it's great stuff for them. It's a great night for them into the next round of the cup. And I'm sure any team now that gets drawn against Harps will be fearing them because Harps is a very hard place to go to. I don't care who you are. It's not an easy game up there. I know the results for them in the league happen well, but no one wants to be going to Harps in midweek.
You definitely want them at home more than away. They're real home and away type side. You know what I mean? But
I can see you going up there now in the next round of the cup. I'll be giving you directions.
It finished Cork City 1, St. Patrick's Athletic 1, Turner's Cross. Before we get into the game, Cian, I heard a little story that you were terrorising Cork City and Gavin Woods found you and brought you to the game in a wheelbarrow. Is that true?
Yeah. Fair play to Gav. Fairness, we were walking up to the game. It was brilliant. Me and Paul felt like we were walking up to the game and just seeing a car pulling in, to be honest. Yeah, I always just wave. Like,
you thought someone was going to kidnap you.
I just wave. How we aboard gets away with everything. So it's like how we aboard look in, and then it was Gav. And fair play to him. He picked us up in the city and brought us up to the game. So fair play to him. In terms of the game, probably a very poor first half, especially. No real. I think Cork had a chance. Cork had a couple of chances. I thought they were really good at targeting down the left-hand side, targeting McClellan in that left full position, and he did struggle in the game. He's not a left full. I don't anyone can see that, but he's played there now 3 or 4 times because of the situation that we're in. But you know, he's doing a fantastic job. I'm never going to criticise him for that. It's not his position, and you know, he's giving a dig out.
He does. Yeah, he does. He's the type of player he gives 100% though, no matter where he plays. He can play left wing back fairly decently, in my opinion, but left back's a different position.
I thought Cork targeted that area, and they done a really good job of targeting it. I thought the strongest point in the back line for me was James Abango for Pats. I think he got in once. Cork got in once just before he was in the box and everything, and he just hit the ball and he didn't connect with it cleanly. Thankfully for ourselves, but didn't connect with it cleanly, and Yaros had an easy save to make. And I think that was all that really happened in the first half. I said it before, I'll say it again. I thought Stevie O'Donnell identified there was a problem in the side. Identified we weren't getting on the ball enough. Identified all this, and he's not afraid to make changes. I say that all the time to Keith. He's not afraid to look at this bench and bring players on. You know, bringing on Ben McCormick was the best change he could make. Ben changed the whole game, and he brought Pats really right back into it. And the first half, it was definitely more of a, I don't know, 70-30 game in favour of Cork. And, you know, for most of the second half, it was probably the same. And then Ben McCormick came on, and, you know, the tide changed. Pat started getting a hold of the ball, started playing well. We took off Coughlin, who wasn't 100% fit, and he's only coming back into it, and he's getting minutes, them 75 or whatever minutes he got on the time, will do him the world of good for the games
It's
coming
crucial.
up.
I think it's crucial, Kane, for Pats to try and get him right, because let's be honest, before that knee situation, he was excellent. Like,
yeah, and I think we missed Matty Smith big time in that game. The link-up play, especially with Coughlin. I think him and Coughlin, there's probably not a better partnership in the league at the minute than Coughlin and Matty Smith when they play together. So they're so effective. They mightn't have the goals to warrant what I'm saying, but if anyone watches the game,
actually 15 goals between them, which isn't
yeah,
bad, King, considering Coughlin has missed. Yeah,
people will look at that and say it's probably not enough, for me saying they're the best in the league. But if you actually watch the games and watch how the two of them link up and how vital they are to the side, you only realise when they're not on the side or one of them's not on the pitch. You only realise how badly you missed the other one. But Ben McCormick for me changed the game for Pats. He was superior. Pat's done a lot of huffing and puffing as well as Cork. Pat's kind of had an awful lot of the ball, and we didn't have enough movement. We didn't break Cork down at all, and we had a couple of chances. Then Cork had a couple of chances. The game, there was actually a very good 20 minutes towards the end of the game where both sides were kind of going for the win. Ben McCormick produced a bit of magic, went on a fantastic run, penalty all day. There's no question about it. I think Colin Healy said the same thing as well.
I'm just looking at Dad smiling. That's all.
No, if you look, Colin Healy said the exact same thing. I did think the ref was going to bottle it because it was close to the outside of the box, and we were ordering don't bottle it. But Forrester took her away. It was a long wait. I think it was about 3 or 4 minutes by the time the Cork injured player actually got off the pitch as well. So we had a long wait. He stuck it in. We thought we won it. Brilliant. Stains in the away end. I just need to add as well, that was my first away trip properly with fans, proper with the drum and everything on it. It was
a bit of pyro going on as well, wasn't there?
No, I don't know where you're saying that. No, it was excellent. It felt like a proper away trip again, and then we're hanging on and a bit of pressure. In fairness, the Cork show fantastic character, got themselves back into the game with a goal right at the end, literally right at the final whistle. Then in extra time, Pat's kind of had a go, and then Cork kind of had a go in little sports. I think probably by the 20th minute of extra time, I think both sides were kind of happy to go to penalties. That's what it looked like to me. I thought, I'll be honest, McNulty didn't have an awful lot to do, but what he had to do, he was kind of called upon. The second half, he was kind of flapping at a couple of crosses that were coming in, but we were crossing him right in on top of him, rightly so. I think he's probably the worst with his hands at the minute in the league that you'd want to target. He obviously got a bit of stick as well, so I kind of enjoyed that. I'm not going to lie, that's all I kind of went down for. But it was great. It was great, and penalties. And we were only saying the game was that all that summer up now was the penalties would be down the other end, and right, that's exactly what they were. They were right down the other end of the pitch. Look, you won't see 4 better penalties. Let's be honest. They were screamers like for them, and they picked their spot. They stuck to it well. Excellent stepping up. V pulled off a fantastic. By the way, when I say it's fantastic saves, you see that one in normal time.
Yeah.
Oh, what a strike and what a save! He leaped up and I think V was our busiest player on the night, and I found he done really, really well in the game. But extra penalties it's a lottery. Either team can win it. Pats just had that quality. But I think you see the celebrations with the fans at the end. You're seeing all I'd say everyone's probably seen it on social media, all the celebrations and that togetherness in that group. We went down to Cork, who in fairness are forward in all cylinders in the recent weeks and are in banging top form. Now back four, you have a left full playing centre half, you have a right full playing centre half, you have you're looking
17-year-olds playing.
Yeah, you have a 17-year-old, you have a left winger, centre midfielder playing left full. Then you're looking at the side. We literally went there with the bare bones, and we limited Cork to an awful lot. They didn't get enough. They didn't get a lot of chances. They didn't get a lot of things. Albeit, I probably if Cork won the game in normal time, I'd hold my hand up and say the better team won, and I'm not getting away from that. But the fact that we went there with such a weakened side and got the result and dug it out and won it on penalties, I don't think the result should go unnoticed. In terms of they just scrape past Cork, because when you take all them things into account and how well Cork are playing at the minute in Turner's Cross, it really is. It's probably a result that's going to go a long way to defining Pat's season. And I think Pat's, we fancy our chances of going at least on another 2 rounds at least, get to the final and see what happens.
Daz, now to be fair, I suppose Pats will obviously be relieved, because any team that gets through in penalties is going to be relieved. And had they lost that in penalties to Cork, I think after the defeat to Finn Harps the week before, and the injuries, etc., it just creates a little bit of a downer there as well. But from Cork's point of view, we've questioned their character a lot this season, actually. But to be fair, to draw with Pats, get them the penalties, can go either way. Then Coffey scoring the last minute. Cork can take some pride from that, at least, can't they? Let's be honest, to be fair.
They definitely can. Pats are a great team. They've got great players throughout the pitch, and even players playing out of position have done relatively okay for them this season. Even in the league, I think we went through it there about 2 or 3 months ago to have Macklin, left back again in that game, and had a few other players playing really out of position in that team. Just loads of injuries that time. There was 4 or 5. I think it was actually 7 injuries. Pat Keogh know better at that one time. But
it's more the fact as well, Daz, that the injuries are all in defence, more or less, bar one. So that's the big issue, really.
And if you don't have a solid back four, it's going to be very hard to get any kind of result in the game. You've got a lot of questionable players who won't be comfortable in the back. They won't have confidence playing out. They won't have confidence going forward. It'll be a hoof job. It'll be clear. It'll be pushed up. It'll be all that kind of a job. But I think you have to give credit to Cork though too. I know Pats had a very botched up team, but they took them all the way to penalties. And after the season Cork's had, the confidence that they probably didn't have for a very, very long time. It took a lot of character to go out and fight Pats and actually bring them the whole way to penalties. And you have to give them credit for bringing them that far. And, Pats came back into the game with a very late goal. It could have been a completely different story. And, like Keno said, he would have threw his hand up. He would have said a better team won, which is fair enough. I think Cork did very well to keep Pats out. No matter what, players Pats put out there, they're going to be better than Cork's players on paper every single day of the week. Even some of Pats' 19 players are better than a lot of Cork's starting players. I think personally myself, I think Pats are a good team and you have good quality throughout the pitch. And this season they've had to use probably one of the largest squads throughout the league due to injuries. Players maybe that they mightn't have really played got a lot of game time because of injuries and all that kind of reason. And it's been a great learning experience for Pats players too, to actually come in and play and be confident in position, knowing they can do it again. And Pats did show good determination and getting through and confidence in the penalties. They were calm, they were collected. They scored all their penalties, I think it was, and they did very well. But you have to give credit to Cork too. They took them the whole way to penalties, and they had left me coming away from that feeling, they'd be feeling bad that they lost out. But losing the penalties is a lottery every day of the week. The best of teams have lost the teams really down in the league through penalties, and you have to give credit to Cork. Well done to them. But Pats get through to the next round, so hopefully we don't get drawn against Pats.
Never know. It finished Minute 3, Cobh 2 in Baldonnel, actually. In Minute, this was a fantastic result. And we felt, I think, Keane, in the preview show, we spoke about this. And it's weird. We weren't really surprised that this could be, inverted commas, shocked. Were we, to be honest with you?
No, I seen this game now. Thankfully, it was on a different point to Bows and Rovers, so I was able to watch it. I have a dodgy stick, so anyone that hasn't got one, get on them. They're great because you don't have to pay for the cup games. No, honestly, I thought it was great. They were just so dogged. They were just so determined, and they came with a game plan and stuck to it. And they were under the cosh a little bit, obviously with Cobh, and Cobh attacking. There was a couple of waves of attack, and then Minute get the winner, and it's great to see. I was delighted to see them win there, but at the same time, it doesn't do a lot of favours for the League of Ireland. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's a great story for Leinster senior side get beating them and stuff, but it doesn't look good on the first division. And I think, I don't mean that. Look, we see cup shocks all the time, even in England and stuff. I'm as delighted as anyone that they're in the next round, but I just like, I think you're looking at people and you're looking at the league, and for its own bit of respect, I think that not there at the minute. People don't respect the league. And
Keane, are you looking at Cobh a little bit though, and kind of saying, look, obviously I talked about it before, but Ashton was lost his job there a couple of weeks ago, pretty much, and that. And are they seem unsure or something, don't they? It's just a bit.
It wasn't a great performance. They were up against it. I think Maynooth done a great thing in getting Baldonnel. So, usually we see, usually, like, for example, the Pats, now maybe because it was Cobh, they said, we're not travelling down there. But, if it was Pats playing Maynooth, usually what happens is we let them use Richmond Park.
Yeah.
And we'd give them the gate receipt.
Yeah.
So, they're still the home team. They're still getting the few bob. They're just using Pats. And to be honest, I think that's a win-win for Pats. But, at this minute in time, to play them in Baldonnel, where Cobh had to travel on a Sunday afternoon, wasn't ideal for Cobh. They were always going to be up against it. And in fairness to them, they were up against it. They did give a great account of themselves, but the result won't reflect that, and that's all that matters. The result didn't reflect it. It's a cup game. It's not about how you play, it's how you get into the next round. And unfortunately, Cobh are out.
Yeah, I mean, Keane makes a good point there. I think if that match was flipped in Cobh, I think highly unlikely there's going to be a shock, if I'm honest with you as well. It was a bad day for John Kavanagh. Poor John Kavanagh scored an OG and later on got sent off as well, as Cobh scored 6 minutes later to get the winner.
Yeah, look, I completely agree with him. Like, it's completely flipped, and sure, Cobh aren't expecting that. They're probably thinking, sure, they'll come down here and we'll get down the gate receipts and everyone will be happy. But no, they stuck to their guns. They said, no, we're having it in our home ground. You come on up to us. And they did the job. They did the business. Like I said earlier, it's cup, it's results. It doesn't matter how you play. It doesn't matter how you get through. A referee error, an own goal, a penalty. Doesn't matter how you get through. The end result's all that matters. The end result's the only thing that fans are going to remember. They're not going to remember how well you played. It's the result. It's all about the result. The result is the only thing that matters. To get through to that next round, it's knockout. It's not about building for a league or anything that how you play. It's not about developing anything. It's knockout. You have to win whoever's in front of you. You can only play who you're put against. And going up against a Cobh team made up of a lot of Leinster or Munster senior league players, actually, especially in their backs. But Cobh did play, a good team. They had like Ben O'Riordan, who always plays centre back. He played, and a lot of other players that would normally play for Cobh did play. Cobh didn't really give much rotation in their team, which I wouldn't expect anyway, getting this far in the cup. I wouldn't expect that. But, you have to give full credit again to Maynooth, brilliant that they got through. I'm absolutely delighted. But I do agree with what Keno said. It doesn't really give a great account of Division 1 teams getting, knocking them out. Like, really, they shouldn't be, really. The Division 1 team should be beating them every day of the week. But look, it's the cup. It's the way it goes. And you have to give full credit to them. And I'm delighted as much as anyone that they got through. But like Keno said, it doesn't give a great account of Division 1 teams, but it does show that there's not a million miles in the gap between Division 1 and the best senior leagues around the country. It shows that there's not a million miles apart from each other.
Yeah, that said, finished Killester 0, Wexford 2, Dunphy and Monaghan with the goals. And I suppose we looked at Wexford and thought there was possibly a shock on the cards, maybe here as well, Keane. But they went down and won comfortably. Kyle Robinson was missing as well, so they'd be delighted to get that win there and put them into the quarters.
Yeah, what a win. Great result. And, they're in the quarterfinals now. I didn't see the game, but definitely a professional performance, which I'm delighted with. Like I said, I'm happy to see the First Division teams beating the non-league, so it's great. And I think Wexford would be very happy with themselves because there's a lot of pressure when you're playing non-league sides, and they rose to it. They got the result that they needed. They're in the quarters of the cup. Anything can happen now. Can they draw maybe in Maynooth? Can they draw, teams like that? And all of a sudden, then one of them is probably going to be in the semi-final. And, if we get to a semi-final, that can happen. Like we've seen Athlone getting to a semi last year. Now, they probably won't like me actually bringing that up, considering the result. But, it just shows you how far teams can go if you get a bit of luck. And I think you need that along your way, You need a bit of luck. And, I think everyone would be rooting, no disrespect, but everyone would be rooting for Maynooth or Wexford in the next round. But, I'd be happy taking anyone just for a home tie.
Yeah, it does. I mean, good result for Wexford, but they won't want Bowes or Pats in the next round in particular because it means that Moylan and your Robinsons and King Kellys and that right won't be able to play
That's it. Like, they're going to have an awful lot of players that can't.
Yeah.
So they'll be wanting to, hopefully draw teams that they don't have a player loaned from. And actually, this is something that we never really brought up. When you're in a cup team, if you've a team made up from a lot of loan players, they can't play against your team, and they could be missing, a lot of players, or even, even not even a lot of players, key players that will always play.
Players.
Like Moylan constantly plays now, which is great. Like, we can't play against balls, but he scored a lot of goals in this season. He set up a lot of goals. He's probably one of the first names on the team sheet for them, which is good for Bowes. He's getting development, but bad for them because he's not going to be there next season. Maybe not next season. He could get loaned back, probably not. But
I'd say unlikely. Yeah.
like, it's great for Wexford that they got this far, and there's going to be absolutely no pressure on them, no matter who they get drawn against. And I would be nervous playing against a Maynooth at Wexford. You should beat them. You should put professional forms in. And you should beat them on paper, but it's the cup, and the semi-final is at stake, and them players will all know that, and they'll all want to get there. And they, like Keno said, they'll be looking at Athlone last season, getting right way through to the semi-finals, and they'll be thinking, why can't that be us? And if you're playing with confidence, pressure-free, that's when a team can be hardest to beat. Because if you're a Pats, if you're a Bowes, it's going to be very hard to beat them teams when there's pressure on you to win and not pressure on them to win. It's going to be very hard to beat them. You should beat them, but you're playing with an awful lot of pressure. And I certainly don't, it's going to be very hard no matter who you get. There's no easy game now. And like, people are going to be looking at Maynooth, Wexford. Yes, we should beat them, but I don't believe there's an easy game this far in the cup. Your quarterfinals, you're 2 games away from a final. Like, it's not easy this far now, no matter who you get.
Yeah, so finally finished Bohemians 2, Shamrock Rovers 1 at Dalymount Park. Ali Cooch with a screamer. Lyons and Lopez. Lyons scoring after 87 minutes to give Bowes the win. Keane, I thought it was going to go to extra time with Kelly and Finn sent off as well. It was a proper Bowes Rovers derby, wasn't it, Keane?
Yeah, honestly, Dad's all like me saying it, but I'm actually disappointed it didn't go all the way,
As neutral, yeah, you would be.
Yeah, it had everything, didn't it? First 15 minutes I thought was unbelievable. Both sides were really at it, and I think Shamrock Rovers then realised, we probably can't be that open. We need to just try and frustrate them. And I think Rovers done that, and they set the tone for the rest of the second half. I thought Bowes actually dropped to Shamrock Rovers' level in terms of the game and fell into their little traps of getting frustrated and moaning and not really getting going in the game. And they came out. I think Rovers kind of went in, and the management team was just furious. There was murder going on. We had volunteers calling them, telling them, I won't repeat it, but calling them whatever you can think of, and they were getting involved in stupid things like that you don't have to get involved in, and I think that shows you, that balls. That shows you that's what home advantage is all about. I'm not saying I condemn or anything, whatever was said and stuff like that, but Bowes really rattled them, and I think Rovers went in proper raging and proper, like literally, I think it was a tackle away from Emili, which we'll get on to now in a minute. But that's what it looked like. It felt like that in the stand. It felt like it was one tackle away, or a red card, or a goal away from the place absolutely exploding. And that was a proper cup tie. I'm delighted that there wasn't only 400 fans, the 800 seen it. I think
Still should be more for me, but that's for another day. Yeah,
but it's important for the league, I think, to get that amount in. But the second half was just like, what a strike from Ali Q. Now, I'd say, I'm being honest, he's probably technically one of the best players at Bowes, but he could probably hit them 100 times now and never score that again. That was an absolute whirly. It went in the top corner. Alamanis was never getting it. What a strike. You got one.
Talbot have got to it though.
I'm not getting involved in that. It's nothing to do with me. Yaros would have got it.
No, but yeah, you're right. It was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, what a strike. And I think then Bowes again, I'll be honest, I'll be a bit critical of them. They fell into Rovers' traps again. They let Rovers kind of get back into the game a little bit and give them that little bit of hope. And then, set pieces, stuff like that. It wasn't defended well.
No.
Pico scores. All of a sudden, Rovers' tails are up. The game is on. Right, Bowes, again, brilliant. Get the ball up the other end of the pitch, smack it off the crossbar. Should have finished it, by the way. Smacked her off the crossbar. And then all of a sudden, all hell broke loose. You had Georgie Kelly absolutely killing Round and Finn. And, you know, I think both players will be looking at that now. I know Bowes won, so I think maybe Round and they'd be a little more disappointed than Georgie probably. But both players be looking at it saying that was a bit stupid. What did I get involved in that for?
You have to agree with the ref there. I know Finn got a second yellow, but I think he came to the right conclusion overall.
Both of them should have been gone. There's no question about it.
I actually think Finn probably should have got a straight red as well, to be honest.
Yeah, but you know, I was disappointed in Georgie and in Round for letting the boil over. I know. Look, I've never played in a Rovers and Bowes derby. I've never been a fan in a Rovers and Bowes derby, of course. So, you know, I'm looking at it from the outside looking in. Round and Finn and Georgie Kelly are right bang in it, in an unbelievable atmosphere at Daily Mount. So tensions do rise, and like we've seen it with Stephen Bradley and stuff like that, they lose that shit, you know, in these games, and it's just moments of madness. That's what these games are all about. But you know, I thought Georgie was a little bit stupid in what he done.
Yeah, it's not in his character, and to be honest, it's not in Finn's character really either. I have to say, really.
No, but you know, I just thought Round and knew what he was doing. He was pushing the right buttons, and you know, fairness, he probably has a little bit of a bruise to back her up now today. But you know, I was about down to 10 men. Then you're saying, Jesus, right, this is going to be a lot of space on the pitch now. Last couple of minutes, let's see what happens. I was looking forward to extra time. I'm not going to lie. I'm raging Bowes actually scored when they did. Like, I would have rather Bowes score in the 119th minute, 120th
From
minute.
unusual, you wanted more drama, didn't you?
Yeah,
it
I had everything. And what an advert for the League of Ireland. But Andy Lyons, I didn't even know he had a left foot. Just popped up and stuck it in the back of the net. And yeah, I found it funny as well, Daz. You'll know all the lads that are usually down in that block were actually up in the other corner. And Andy Lyons, he runs down to the corner where he thought they were.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, I don't really watch the match day vlogs or anything you do, but I watched Daz's yesterday, and my God. He was talking about the match, and then the second goal went in. Holy jeez, I never seen that like it, but you know, and it's delayed run down to celebrate as well when they were all down there. Look, a proper cup tie. I think Bowes know the buttons to press against Shamrock Rovers. I think Bowes know how to frustrate them off the pitch and know how to make it a hostile atmosphere. They did that. They got the 3 points. They got the win. Into the next round of the cup, and that's what matters. But I think home advantage. If anyone says home advantage doesn't matter, probably just has to look at that game again.
Yeah, especially with no away fans at the moment either, so that's a big thing as well. But Daz, yeah, that's a good point Keane made there. Actually, Bowes seem to do better. You're nearly more confident that Bowes can beat Shamrock Rovers than any other team in the league can beat Shamrock Rovers. The point I was going to make as well. And I think, though, at the same time going into the game, I think myself, Keane, and we went for Bowes to win this match, because we just felt, I think, as well, that there might be a little hangover from the disappointment in Europe and stuff like that as well. Bowes could really plan for this match as well, and all the kind of everything seemed to point towards that. How did you feel about it overall?
Look, you know,
he's buzzing. Look, he's buzzing.
Yeah. I was very excited. I was firstly delighted, so happy that I got the email that I'm going for this match. 800 was let in. Absolutely brilliant. Delighted that the club got it organised. The 800 fans got into this. And I made sure it was this game that 800 got in. It was the most packed game I've been at this season, bar obviously the Aviva. And it was absolutely, what a game to be at. Like, absolutely brilliant. I'm delighted. So happy that I got into this game. Firstly, from a neutral's perspective, what a game that was. You know, there was 2 red cards. It's a hostile environment. You know, late goals, late drama, set pieces. You know, real high intense pressing from both teams, sloppy defending, then really good technical work. It had absolutely everything you want in a football game. It had
Daz, would you be that enthusiastic if it finished Bowes 1, Rovers 2? I wonder.
Probably not. No.
No.
No. Look, I'm buzzing from this result. Like, what a game this was, and I have to say, like, I went through every single emotion: pissed off, angry, happy, sad. depressed. I didn't know what.
That's what football's all about, isn't it? That's what the 90 minutes is all about. Yeah.
The goal, we can see that. I was just like, my stomach churns, and I couldn't believe. I was like, what are you doing? Like, we're in the cup time, we're winning. What are you doing? Like, just get rid of it. Like, really frustrating me. I couldn't believe it looking at it. I was like, what are you doing? Like, oh my God. And the stand just goes dead quiet. The Rovers are celebrating, like, no, like, oh my God. Ugh. And then Andy Lyons puts the ball out. He's like, I'm taking charge of this. We're getting through this cup round. And absolutely, by golly, he ran up the field. He cut in on his left foot and put it in the back of the net. Exactly what you want late on in the game. Then it goes down to 10v10. And you're thinking, oh my God, Georgie Kelly is gone. Rovers is down to 10 players. Like, Ronan Finn is sitting over there. And we're all looking at him. And, he's sitting down in the stands. Just nowhere to look. Due to COVID regulations, he has to stay with a shop. Normally it was closed because of the match day. Madness.
By the way, can I just cut across there quickly? Why couldn't they just put him on the bench in the circumstances?
I didn't know why that was either, and it was a bit silly I don't know why that happened, because it was a bit mad. He had to stay in the steps of the shop, and we could all see they didn't know where to stand. I have to say too that I think Bohs played so much better with fans behind him. Like, the fans were amazing throughout the whole game. Like, a good half hour before the game started, everyone was up chanting him. Everyone was behind him. Everyone, the whole stand, even towards the back end of the other stand. Like, I know
there's 3 games to go. You haven't won the cup yet, bud.
But just before I finish off, I think it's a good point as well, because I know Daz, I think since fans are back in Richmond, I think Pats have won every game at home, actually, literally.
6 out of 6.
Isn't that right? Yeah. So, it is a good point. It does make a huge difference when you don't really have away fans as well. And I'd imagine across the board, that's fairly, that's true everywhere nearly, to be honest with you as well.
Who you taking in the next round, Daz?
I want to get Pats the next round. I want to knock them out. 2-0 win if we get Pats. Easy.
He's talking like Conor McGregor, isn't he?
I've seen a new side of Daz today now, I have to say. But I love the passion, though.
I have to say it too, right? It's great that Talbot's after getting called up for the Ireland squad too. He's number 3, now. And, Philip there the other week was saying Talbot's not really a top keeper. He's Ireland's number 3 now. He got called up and he's through to the next round of the cup as well, and he had a great game as well. He had a few fumbles, but he certainly made up for every single one of them. He made a few real point-blank saves. He was extremely brave. He got on the ball. He did what he had to do. He wasted time when he could, and he tried to start attacks when he could. It was brilliant from the goalkeeper up. Like, just quality.
On that bombshell, I think we leave it there. We'll wind Daz down for the next time. Thanks, guys, for watching. Hit your bell notification button so you don't miss a video. Subscribe and let us know what you think in the comments. Great stuff.